Hey parents, home is a place to laugh, learn, and play, and a place where everyone should always feel safe. That's why at Kidda, we believe that protecting children from house fires is everyone's cause. Join us in our mission to help families everywhere learn about fire safety so we can help keep children safe at home and ensure lots more laughs in the future. Learn about the importance of smoke alarms and creating your own home fire safety plan by visiting causefораlarm.org.
Hello, critter protectors. Mr. Jim here, and welcome to Kids Animal Stories, a place where there's always a mystery and adventure around every single corner. If you love critters of all shapes and sizes, I need you on our Critter Protector team. Join our adventure as we learn about critters from around the world and in our backyards. Well, my friends, are you ready for today's adventure? Me too, let's go!
On the last episode, we saw that Newton and Carl had both become quite comfortable in their cozy pond. They were using their gills and tails to get around, and they were most definitely surprised when they started to lose both of these body parts. If you started losing body parts, wouldn't that be pretty terrifying? Oh yes, for sure. Well, in the first episode, we heard some clues. Remember, we're trying to solve the mystery of who is Newton, and I guess who's Newton and his friend. Well, I haven't figured it out. I learned that it's probably most definitely not a fish because I don't think fish can breathe out of water, and I don't think fish lose their gills, but I'm not sure. Let's see what happens next. Newton and Carl both lifted their heads out of the water together. As soon as they did that, they opened their mouths and took a deep breath of air for the first time.
Look, Carl, we can breathe up here,
exclaimed Newton. Carl was so excited. He started breathing in and out, in and out. Look at me. Whoa. It feels different than breathing air.
Oh, wow. I forgot to breathe out.
Come on, Newton. Let's go explore. Now that they both saw it was safe, they were ready to see everything the land had to offer. Newton and Carl both climbed their way completely out of the pond and began to walk on the land. The sand under their feet was soft and warm. The air felt so good on their wet, slimy skin, and it instantly warmed them up. I wonder what things live up here.
Well, we know our parents live here. I wonder if we'll see them, out and about.
Newton wanted to look around at everything. He'd never seen so many different looking objects before. A lot of things he didn't know what they were. In the pond, he'd been used to seeing the same things, but on land, it was like a different planet. There were so many things to look at. Newton, I'm getting kinda hungry, said Carl. They hadn't eaten yet with all the excitement. Newton stopped to think. He was hungry too, but in the pond they just ate the plants and vegetation. What could they eat now? Hold on a second. What kind of things do you think Newton and Carl can eat now that they're out of water? Do you think they're going to have to go back to the water to eat? Or can they find something on the land? As Newton was thinking, suddenly, out of the corner of his eye, he saw a worm start to wiggle. Newton's mouth began to water as he watched the worm moving. Carl saw it too, and it made him hungry.
Carl. Oh boy, that looks delicious. If we could catch it, then we could share it. It looks really good,
said Newton. Carl and Newton started to crawl towards the worm, but before they could grab it, a tongue came out of nowhere and snatched the worm up. Suddenly, the whole worm was gone, and standing before them was a massive bullfrog. The bullfrog croaked and looked at Newton and Carl carefully. He was still hungry. Carl was terrified. There was no way to be brave now with such a giant bullfrog standing in front of them. Newton, what do we do? He's gonna eat us! The bullfrog stood very still and watched Newton and Carl. He was trying to figure out which one he could catch first. Newton didn't know what to do at first, but then he suddenly remembered something. They were poisonous to other animals. Their adult skins secreted a special neurotoxin that made them toxic to anything that tried to eat them. If an animal took a bite, they would become paralyzed. Hold on a second. What in the world kind of critter is this? They got poisonous skin? Wow. What kind of lotion do they use to put on a neurotoxin? Do you know what a neurotoxin is? Oh, it's a toxin. It's a poison that attacks your nervous system, and that's why it makes an animal paralyzed. That is a pretty good defense against predators that might want to eat them.
Carl, hurry. Get in the defensive posture. I remember my dad told me about this when I was just a young larva,
said Newton. Newton stood on his four legs and arched his back. He put his head and stubby tail towards the sky and waited. You look kind of funny. Just imagine being on your knees and hands and arching your back and pointing your head up to the ceiling. Yep, that looks pretty silly. The bullfrog looked at Carl and Newton, and after just a second, he started to slowly back away. This bullfrog was in no mood to mess with anything poisonous today. With one less, he hopped away in the opposite direction. When Newton saw the frog hop away, he came out of his defensive posture.
We did it! We scared him away!
Carl opened his eyes to look around, and the bullfrog was gone. Carl had been so scared that he almost fainted. But he just wanted to be as brave as Newton. How did you remember what we needed to do?
I don't know, it just kind of came to me when I needed it. Just like remembering that we would go through a metamorphosis from the water to the land. I guess it's just instinct, said Newton.
Hold on a second. We gotta figure out what kind of critters these are. So, all right, the clues. It seems like their life starts in the water, and they have gills and a tail. It's like the tail and gills kind of go away. What do you... Oh, and poison skin. Oh, I think I might know what it is. It's a newt. Yeah, they are California newts. California newts have poisonous neurotoxic skin. They kind of look like slimy lizards. And they're pretty cool because when a predator comes to try and eat them, they arch their back like that to show off their colors and scare the predator away. Newton and Carl were happy that the bullfrog was finally gone. It was really handy that they were poisonous to the other animals. Now they could try to find their lunch in peace. And if anyone ever tried to stop them again, they would defend themselves, like they had done before. Even though the land had new dangers they weren't used to, they were excited to explore the rest of where they would live. Maybe they would even find their parents. But from now on, they would always live on the land, until it was time for them to have children of their own. Then they would make the journey back to the pond to begin the life cycle again. The end. Hey friends, I have some special shout outs for all of my critter protectors. I want to say hey to Avery from Georgia, Elise and Cohen from Bend, Oregon, Milo from Minnesota, and Logan from South Carolina. I'm so glad that you're all on our critter protector team. We could not protect all the critters in the world without you, my friends. Well, you have a super duper day, and I'll see you on our next adventure. Bye!
Hey parents, Home is a place to laugh, learn, and play, and a place where everyone should always feel safe. That's why at Kidda, we believe that protecting children from house fires is everyone's cause. Join us in our mission to help families everywhere learn about fire safety so we can help keep children safe at home and ensure lots more laughs in the future. Learn about the importance of smoke alarms and creating your own home fire safety plan by visiting causefораlarm.org.